You don't need to wait to start living your life and fully embracing who you are. You can start now. Not only can you, but you absolutely should, because when you start to embrace the messy middle and be okay with the fact that not everything's going to be okay all the time, and be okay with the fact that maybe you haven't reached your goal yet, but that's fine. I can find some joy in today. I can embrace myself where I'm at now, and not only embrace it, but celebrate it, because guess what? I've still come so far. And it's not about you having to reach the specific goal. It's about finding joy in the presence. It's about creating real connection with people day to day. And I've started to do more and more of that, and I have never felt more fulfilled in my entire life. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Confidently Uncomfortable. I'm your host and confident dealer, J.Go. Every week, I'll bring you 2 new episodes, and today we're boosting our confidence, baby. Ready or not, let's dive in. Man, oh man, does it feel good to be back. Welcome back to Confidently Uncomfortable. This has been a fun behind the scenes rebrand where I've been really thinking, how do I want to show up for you? And today's episode, we are going to be going into my story. And the big message behind this story is definitely going to be, don't wait. Don't wait to start showing up for yourself unapologetically. Do not wait until the final product, you've reached the goal, and really find joy in the messy middle, even when it's uncomfortable. Notice I didn't say if, I said when it's uncomfortable. And we're going to choose where to start with my story, because I was trying to think with you guys. Some of y'all know my story, some of y'all don't. So I'm going to do my best to encapsulate 30 years into less than 15 minutes. So let's get going. Those of you who are listening to this episode, you may not know that I am filming this episode. So for the first time, we're going to start doing more filming behind the scenes, as well as just sharing on YouTube, so that if you want to watch with me, you absolutely can. You will get a little bit more behind the scenes. You'll get to see what kind of crazy coffee cups I'm drinking. And it's just going to be a good old time. So definitely check that out. But I am really looking forward to sharing my story with you and give you guys a little bit more insight about who I am and how I got to where I am today. So you might not know this about me. I'm Jordan Gomez, J.Go. I grew up, honestly, hating my body. I was pretty tall for my age, but also I always felt like the bigger girl. And whenever I looked in the mirror, I was picking apart my body and pointing out flaws. And it was something that I struggled with for a really long time. And the thing is, it had nothing to do with my size. I didn't know that. I was looking for confidence and thinking that in order to achieve that, in order to feel good in my skin, in order to show up as myself, I had to be someone else. And the biggest lesson I've learned over these 30 years is that you can show up just as you are right now, and that's beautiful. And it's okay if that changes from today till tomorrow. You can embrace your body. You can embrace yourself in every single chapter of your life. And I had to learn that the hard way. So I really struggled to embrace my body. I was constantly comparing myself. The truth is, even if I had gotten smaller, I had lost weight, I still struggled to feel confident in my skin. And that right there is proof that self-confidence and feeling good in your body is not about your size. So I continued to grow into my fitness side of things. So you guys might not know this. I was a personal trainer. I taught group fitness for a really long time. It was my first love, and I just really loved how empowering it felt. However, I did struggle with comparison within the fitness industry and thinking that I had to look a certain way, and I couldn't show up until I looked the part. And we're being trained by society that there's this ideal of what we're supposed to look like. You guys on video get to see my air quotes, but what we're supposed to look like. And we put all this pressure on ourselves to be, think, and act and look a certain way in order to fit the script of whatever it is that you want to label yourself as in a certain career, as a mom, in group fitness, as a personal trainer. And for years, I was struggling with that. And I was thinking, I need to change what I look like. I always thought like who's going to want to work with me if I'm, not super ripped and have a six pack. And that really, it hit me for a long time. And then I started to realize I want to help people feel good in their skin. I want people to feel accepted. So when they walk into my workout room, they feel safe. They feel connected. They feel accepted. They feel like they can just be and move their body for what it is and out of love. And when I flipped the script on that and started doing that for others, I started to heal that within myself too. And I started to realize that that's what we need. We need authenticity. We need to show up exactly as we are. And it's okay if you do want to change in some way. It's okay if you want to create changes, but I had to start creating changes for me. I needed to stop changing who I was in order to fit and be somebody else. And once I started doing that, I was able to really step into myself. And it's a process. It doesn't mean that I'm here now and I'm done, but it has been such a beautiful process. So flash forward, I was doing group fitness for a long time. I started teaching personal training. Still being in that culture, when you're in that space, it can really still mess with your head in diet culture. So I was still caught up in the diet mindset. And I started strength training though, and that really helped liberate me because I started going to the gym, and instead of focusing on getting smaller, I focused on getting stronger. And that shift in mindset absolutely changed how I viewed my body. I was focused on all that my body could do instead of all of what I thought my body was worthy of as far as love. And that shift really helped. I mean, it might sound drastic, but it helped save my life. And it helped me realize that you can do it too. And it's something that I wanted to help other people do as well, because working in a gym from 5 a.m. till 9 at night, I was seeing people come here and they were broken. And I don't mean physically, I mean mentally. They were struggling and they were trying to create changes on the outside when what they really needed was change on the inside. And I learned this too with my own healing journey. So again, continuing on, I started my own business. I started to train people in their houses. Shout out to my J.Go Fit peeps from the very beginning. I was hosting boot camps in the park. If you came there, thank you. If you've been there since the beginning, if you came and repped some of my original J.Go logo stuff, I really appreciate you. But I was doing that for a long time. And again, I kept coming back to the mindset component, how powerful our minds were, how we could wake up one day and feel crappy in our bodies, but then another day feel better in our skin, yet there's no change physically, right? That shows that like our minds are so powerful. And I wanted to be able to be fully present in my body, and I wanted other people to do the same. So I started to shift more into the mindset and confidence coaching, and I started to sharing my experience online and going through a healing journey. I didn't realize how much I needed to heal, but damn did I. I needed to stop trying to compare myself. And so the reason I'm telling you this kind of journey is that I got confident in my skin because I learned, I broke up with the fad diets. I broke up with trying to go and get smaller, and I focused on getting stronger. And that was really powerful. So I wasn't struggling in the same way with my body image, which I had grown up with, like disordered eating, body dysmorphia. Like looking back, it's just kind of crazy seeing that all come up for me. And, I healed from that, quote unquote. But when you continue to grow, when you reach new levels, those things can come up in your life again. And it's easy for us to think, oh my gosh, I'm backtracking. I'm going back to where I was before. But I want to remind you, let me tell you where I was at real quick. So I'd gotten to that point with my business. I was successful. I was doing well, but I realized something was still missing. I was still comparing myself when it came to others online, when it came to businesses, when it came to even just putting this hard standard on where I was supposed to be in my journey, in my own growth and development in business. And everything started to kind of come up again to where it wanted to snowball into, well, who do you think you are showing up this way? You don't even look the part, blah, blah, blah. All these old narratives were coming up again. Okay. And so when that does happen in your journey, when you have healed or you've come a long way or you've made a lot of beautiful progress, when you do hit some sort of obstacle or another mindset block like that, it can be easy for us to put ourselves down and think, oh my gosh, I'm off the wagon. I'm back to where I was. I'm back to day one. And you're not back to day one, because you are not the same person you were when you first started this self-love journey. You are not the same person you were 5-10 years ago. You weren't even the same person you were 5 minutes ago. We're constantly growing and changing, so we're not going back. And the second I allowed myself to be more present in this space of like, okay, obviously I'm working through something, but I'm going to, instead of seeing it as backtracking, I'm going to see it as, I've seen this visual before of like spiraling up. So think about it like visualizing a spiral. You're going up through your journey and you come across maybe a similar vantage point, but a little bit higher up from where you were before when it comes to the lessons you've learned, the tools you've established. And so it might look like a similar problem, but really it's just you're going to get the opportunity to work through it in a new way from a higher vantage point with a little bit more confidence backing you because you've gotten through something similar in the past. And so if you allow that to inspire and empower you opposed to putting you down and thinking it has to be perfect, that was one of the biggest changes for me, especially over the past 6 months. I have been able to recognize that this is all a process and meet myself where I'm at, no matter where I'm at on my journey, instead of thinking that like I'm in a specific place. I'm no longer saying like, oh, I'm behind or I'm not where I want to be. I'm like, I've stopped putting myself on this like crazy timeline and I've started to just step into just the presence. I got this tattoo with one of my good friends. It says be here. And I started to realize the significance of being more present, because a lot of times we're stuck in this mindset of like go, go, go. And if you're not moving, then you're gonna regress backwards. And there's so much power in taking time for yourself, in slowing down. That's what I had the opportunity to do with this podcast. I was able to slow it down. So instead of getting stuck in where I thought I should be or thinking I'm behind, or if I stop and take a break, I'm going to get behind, like I released that and allowed myself to just be. And that's what I want to challenge you to do here, because once I started doing that, I started to feel so much more joy in my life because I wasn't chasing the next thing. We're kind of taught to do that for so many different aspects of our life because you're taught to like go after a goal. And so it's like, okay, well, you need to go to school, get really good grades and graduate so that you can do what? Go to college. And then you're going to go to college and you're going to work really hard because what? You're going to get a really good job. And they're going to get a really good job and it's going to be really great because you need to do what? You need to settle down. You need to get a house and then you need to find somebody and settle down with them and then have kids and blah, 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 blah. We are told that over and over and over again to where we get so bogged down on not being matching that and not checking off all those boxes. It can make us feel like we're not enough. I've had so many conversations lately. So y'all, I just turned 30 this past May. And since that point, it's like God has given me so many opportunities to have conversations with other women in their late 20s, early 30s, and kind of around there, talking about just the pressure that they've been feeling about having children, about, needing to be at a different place in their life, maybe needing to be more settled down. And it's crazy because that pressure was brought on by years and years of society telling us that that's what you do, especially as a woman. You're supposed to do all of those things. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, especially if you've done it and you feel really good about it. But I don't want you to feel like your life doesn't have purpose now, because there is so much beauty in embracing the messy middle of our lives. Instead of trying to check the next box, instead of trying to achieve that next goal and only focus on your life and seeing it as you being successful if you hit this goal, not only if you hit this goal, but if you hit this goal perfectly, that is a way to always end up feeling like a failure, to always put ourselves down. And I want to help you start to embrace the messy middle. I want to help you start seeing that, like, I know that old saying of like the most important part of your life is that dash in between on your gravestone, is like what you do in the middle of it. And it's not about, you don't have to wait to start enjoying your life until you've checked off that box, until you've made that amount of money. You don't need to wait to start embracing your body until you weigh this much on the scale. Like, scales are bullshit anyways. We've talked about this, but you don't need to wait to start living your life and fully embracing who you are. You can start now. Not only can you, but you absolutely should, because when you start to embrace the messy middle and be okay with the fact that not everything's going to be okay all the time, and be okay with the fact that maybe you haven't reached your goal yet, but that's fine. I can find some joy in today. I can embrace myself where I'm at now, and not only embrace it, but celebrate it, because guess what? I've still come so far, and it's not about you having to reach the specific goal. It's about finding joy in the presence. It's about creating real connection with people day to day. And I've started to do more and more of that, and I have never felt more fulfilled in my entire life. If you haven't read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, it's literally changed my life, because it's taught me about the importance of being present, about the importance of not getting so caught up in the future or feeling so much regret about the past. And it has helped me feel so much lighter. It's kind of crazy. It's helped me feel lighter mentally, but then also physically. I released weight that I didn't even know I was holding on to. And it's such a beautiful thing, because that doesn't even impact me. I don't care that that's happened. I haven't talked about it actually at all. I haven't talked about the fact I think I've lost like 20 pounds in the past year. And the thing is I had been holding on to things that I didn't realize I needed to release. And, that weight could change. It's fine, whatever. But as long as that mental weight is continuing to be released, that is what feels so good to me. So I want you to recognize that you can meet yourself where you're at today. You don't have to wait to start enjoying your life and start showing up fully as you are. And speaking of not waiting, if there's something that you've been wanting to do for a while, but you're waiting for the perfect conditions, you need to just do it. It's funny when I'm sharing this with you all, it's almost every single time I show up for a podcast episode, it's like a message that I really needed to hear today. So I'm going to speak to you, but I'm also going to speak to me. I was hesitating a lot on showing up fully for podcasting, on calling myself a speaker. So you guys don't know this, but I've shifted a lot more into the life coaching, speaking side of things, and I've been doing more of that. And when I am in those elements, I feel so connected. I feel like this is what I'm meant to be doing. But for a long time, I wouldn't allow myself to call myself any of those things. Or when I was sharing with family or friends what I do, I would always belittle it or act like, yeah, it's just this is what I do on the side, or I'm an influencer, or saying, laughing it off and speaking as if it's not a big deal. And I've decided this year to start speaking I am a big deal, and I want you to do the same. And it might trigger some people to start showing up fully and start being yeah, I am a successful speaker. I'm a successful business owner. I am a really good mom. I'm really great at this. But it's so needed, because we're taught to water down our achievements. We're taught to make ourselves smaller. And I want to inspire you to take up space. I want to inspire you to celebrate all the small wins along the way. And then I also want to inspire you to see the crazy mess that you're in right now and find the beauty in it. Find the beauty in the chaos and the fact that yes, maybe I don't know every single thing that I'm going to be doing with my life over the next 5 years, but I know that I have continue to show up for myself every single day. I know that I'm continuing to spread love every single day. That's the stuff that matters. And if you can start to do that now, it can help you release all of this pressure you've been feeling. So if you've been feeling that pressure, I want you to take a breath with me. So we're going to breathe in through our nose. Hold it. And then release through your mouth. And just smile to yourself, knowing that I can release that pressure whenever I choose. Whatever you're holding on to, you can release it today. You can choose to start showing up fully for yourself today. I'm choosing to do that more and more every day, and I want to inspire you to do the same. I'm shifting into doing more speaking, going all in with the podcast, helping people with more life coaching, career coaching, as well as health coaching. And I'm not afraid anymore to embrace that title. I'm not afraid anymore to show up for you guys as I am. Even on video right now, y'all, I'm going to look like a hot mess express plenty of times, but that's okay. I don't want you to feel like you have to wait to show up until you look perfect, until you feel confident. Start showing up now and the confidence will follow. Thank you guys for listening. I'm so excited for season 2. This is going to be a wild ride, so you better get ready.